Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the beginning of the annual series where I give NFL players their Madden ratings. I'm gonna start with the running backs today. I think I did that last year too. Let me know in the comments what position you want to see next. Otherwise, I'll probably do tight ends to get those out of the way. But I like being a man of the people and I'm willing to listen. Couple of plugs before we hop into the video. Don't forget to use code WyattzWorld on G Fuel, Waggle, Golf, or Prize Picks. By using my codes on G Fuel or Waggle, you'll save a discount on any of their products. And by using it at sign up on Prize Picks, you're gonna guarantee yourself to win a free $50 with your first $5 entry. But as always, remember to play responsibly and let's get into the video. Okay, folks, so here we are at the tier list. We all know how the ranking works here. It's pretty self-explanatory. But just to show you guys which running backs we are doing, I will be starting with Tony Pollard and ending with Jordan Mason down there. I just wanted to say that in case you guys happen to get a glimpse at the other 500 million running backs they have. So without further ado, though, let's start with Tony Pollard. 85. Listen, there are two truths about Tony Pollard. One of them, he is not as good as a lot of people, including myself, thought he was going to be as a starting running back. But he also isn't a bad running back by any means. He's always above 4 yards a carry. He's had 1,000 yards the last 3 seasons. At least 5 touchdowns, 40 receptions. I mean, he is a quality starter in the league. Moving on, we have DeAndre Swift, 82. I'm not saying he can't be effective, just plain and simple, I don't think he's a good running back. When he came into the league, I thought he was going to be like a James Cook. He is not that. Moving on, we have Isaiah Pacheco. I already just want to say I think he's much better than what he showed last year, and I think everybody knows that. But I still can't give him a rating that I gave him 2 seasons ago. I gotta be fair. I'll give him an 83. I'd rather have him than DeAndre Swift. Moving on, we have Kyren Williams, 91. I remember trying to play it safe last offseason saying, you know, I want to see it again. I want to see him do good again. Well, we saw it again. He's a fucking animal. Now we're on to Kenneth Walker, 84. He's another guy I'm kind of in the middle with. I don't think he's the worst running back by any means, but I also don't necessarily think he's as great as a lot of people say, or at least a lot of people did say. I mean, the guy's rookie season, he looked amazing. We just haven't seen that since, but I do think his receiving is an underrated part. He can catch. That'll bring us to Saquon. That's an obvious 99. Listen, man, I've seen all of Derrick Henry's career. I watched majority of Adrian Peterson's career. What he did last year was potentially the greatest rushing season I have ever seen. Certified G. Now we got James Cook. I'm gonna go 89. He is a good running back. There is no doubt about it. He's a top 10 running back. But you can't just take his touchdowns and give him like a high 90 or a mid 90 or even a low 90 because of it. 89's a great score. And you also have to take into account here that he doesn't run all that much. Like, yeah, he's a starting back, but he had just over 200 attempts last year. Bucky Irving, 99. I'm him. Okay, I'll be fair. 87. He had an outstanding rookie year, man. 207 attempts for 1,122 yards, 5.4 yards a carry, 8 rushing touchdowns, and 47 receptions for 392 yards. That man might legitimately be a first-round fantasy pick this year. He's gonna be a monster. Now we got Travis Etienne, 80. He is fucking trash. The only reason he's not in the bottom category is because, you know, the first year he played his, true rookie season, he was injured. So in 2022, he was legitimately good. But ever since that, he has just gotten worse. And I mean a lot worse. Now we got Nick Chubb. Oh gosh, probably an 85. I still believe Nick Chubb can come back and be elite. And I believe that for 2 reasons. 1, because I love him. 2, he is not your average human being. He's not even a human. I know I've told this story before, but the day he was born was because a scientist accidentally spilt a Red Bull into a cup of protein and he just popped out of it. Raheem Mostert, he's an 82. He's a perfect example as to why you can't just take touchdowns and say they're elite. Same with Jamal Williams, actually, a few years ago. I mean, look at this guy's career, dude. Not only is staying healthy a problem, but outside of, 2023's touchdowns, he's not special. Now we got Joe Mixon, 86. He's played a long time and he's still playing at a decent level. I just don't think he's like a top 10 back or probably even top 15 at this point. Well, maybe top 15. Now moving on, we have Aaron Jones. I'm gonna give him a 90, and I know some people are gonna be like, well, I know in your James Cook ranking you had James higher. Look, I'm not taking Aaron Jones long-term over James Cook, but I am taking into account that this guy is still playing at an absolutely elite level, and until he doesn't, I'm not gonna knock him. He has always been one of the best, most consistent runners in the league, production-wise. Tank Bigsby, I'll go 84 with him. Like I previously mentioned, I think that he has potential, but I don't think he has yet established himself. Now we got James Conner, 89. This man has over-delivered when it comes to his expectations in this league, and he has well earned himself a spot to be a solidified starter in the league. But I know this because I had him in fantasy last year. He can be very hit or miss. You'll see him have 10 carries for 100 yards one game, and then the next he'll have 12 for 30. Now on to Ramondre Stevenson, 82. Now he's obviously not the guy he was in 2022, but he's also not worthless. I just wish they'd use him more for receiving like they did that one year, dude. He almost had 70 receptions. Ray Davis, 79, and I don't mean it in an insulting way, but the guy's a bowling ball. I think he's kind of like an A.J. Dillon. I would love to give him a higher rating, but I gotta see him do, you know, some substantial stuff. Now we've got J.K. Dobbins, who's still a free agent for some reason. I'll go 84 with him. His biggest problem has remained his biggest problem, and that's his health. He's never started more than 11 games. Alexander Madison, 60. Bijan Robinson, I'm gonna go 94. Almost 1,500 rushing yards, 14 touchdowns. He caught over 60 receptions on the year. He's unbelievably explosive. The guy runs like he's playing with a juke stick in Madden. Now we got Jonathan Taylor, 93. I believe he is so fucking good, man. People don't get it. Just because he's missed time doesn't mean he hasn't been like elite every time he's played. Because he has been. Whenever he can play, the guy is always performing. You know, he rushed for 1,400 yards and 11 touchdowns this year, and he only started 13 games. He had potential to have like a record-setting season as well. That'll bring us to Chase Brown, 84. He's only started 10 games throughout his career, but I would say it's been a pretty honorable 10 games. Finished just under 1,000 yards this year with 7 touchdowns, but he also caught for 300 and some yards and 4 touchdowns. He had 54 receptions, and like I said, he started 10 games. Now we got Jahmyr Gibbs. Fucking A, man. I'm gonna give him a 94 as well. Him and Bijan are extremely similar as to production, how they play, but I think what distinguishes them, and maybe I'm tripping, I think Bijan is more shifty. However, I think Gibbs has more power, which also, by the way, doesn't make sense considering Jahmyr Gibbs is smaller than Bijan Robinson, height and weight-wise. To me, it just looks like he's more of a hard runner. Speaking of hard runners, we have Derrick Henry, 99. How can you not? Literally, how can you not? He just had arguably the best season of his career and is also on one of the greatest runs we have ever seen for a running back when it comes to consistent greatness. He's been on a fucking tear since 2018. Now we got Tyler Algier, 83. He's a great backup to have, but there was never a reason to have him splitting carries with Bijan Robinson, ever. Now moving on, we have Breece Hall, 87. I'm pretty sure I had him in the 90s last year. 87 still a good score, but like I've mentioned, you know, a few weeks ago, I just think the guy's overrated. Like, he is not a top 10 running back. On to Javonte Williams, 75. He's abysmal. Rico Dowdle, 85. I was pretty impressed with him, honestly. I think he is going to turn out to be a decent running back. It's just I don't think he'll ever truly be a starter outside of this last year because, well, now he's going to play alongside like 8 different running backs in Carolina, which all, honestly, I don't think are terrible. Can you imagine if Jonathan Brooks is good and ETN is good? Like, it's going to be insane there, and I'm talking Trevor ETN. Speaking of the Panthers, now we have Chuba Hubbard. I'll go 87 with him. I know that me and him have been through the trenches together, but he was legitimately good last year, and you have to acknowledge it. In my opinion, if you can remain close to 5 yards per carry and break 1,000 rushing yards, that solidifies you as like above average, and that's what he was. That's telling you there's not just a couple games they're going off. Well, more times than none. They're consistently good. That'll bring us to Kareem Hunt, 81. He has not been a productive runner in 4 years. Touchdown merchant. Devon Achane, 88. He's underrated. And I know I might sound like I'm on acid when I say this. I know he's an elite runner, but I literally think he might be better at receiving. Like, he's really fucking good at that. 78 receptions on the year. Brian Robinson Jr., me and him also have been through the trenches, and I've come to, again, 2 realizations with him. 1, he's not elite. But 2, he can get the ball from point A to point B, man. Like, I would say he deserves 84. Now we're on to CMC, which is probably the hardest one out of all of these because it's so hard to rate someone who goes from having, you know, one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen to pretty much not playing at all. Like, I still believe he's a 90. Can I say he's above 96? I don't think I can. Can I say he's above above Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson? I don't think I can. Can I say he's in the same ballpark as Jonathan Taylor? Probably, but I don't think he's as good right now. I'm gonna give CMC a 92. And now we got David Montgomery. He is an 85, smack dab right in the middle of the dartboard. This man is another bowling ball, but he is a really good bowling ball. I'm honestly convinced if you tied an International Delta airplane, one of those real big bastards, around his waist, he'd still be able to run 100 yards. Now we got Tyrone Tracy, 84. I'm expecting him to really pop off this year, but last year, man, he did display himself as a dual threat running back. He also had 5 fumbles in his 12 starts, which is something you absolutely don't want. But if anybody remembers James Cook's first NFL snap, you can always come back. Now we've got Elvin Kamara. I'm gonna go 88, man. It's pretty crazy to think that he actually hasn't made a Pro Bowl in 3 years, even though he's still been throwing up a consistent, well, I'd say 1,300 scrimmage yards a year. He's one of those players in the best way possible that has not changed. Now we're on to Najee Harris, 86. Another player that I think is really overhated, really underrated, and really underappreciated. I'm not saying he's the best running back in the fucking league. I'm not saying he's top 10. I'm not saying he's top 15. I'm just saying he is a proven, established running back in the NFL. And the way I've heard some people talk about the guy, which I mean, I used to make fun of him for running like he wore jeans, but some people are acting like he's like a Travis Etienne, and are you fucking kidding me? Now we got Jaylen Warren. I mean, I can't lie. I've never ever flipped on the TV to see what the fuck Jaylen Warren's doing. But anytime he's on Red Zone or anytime I get to see, you know, any tape of the guy, he's fine. He's an 82. Josh Jacobs, 93. He deserves it. A matter of fact, if he would have been, you know, above 1,100 rushing yards 2 seasons ago, you know, his last year in Vegas, and you look at his stretch of the last 3 years, this guy would probably honestly be like a 97, 98. 2022 and 2024, he was fucking elite. Austin Eckler, 83. The guy can still play, he just doesn't want to play that much. Now we have Antonio Gibson, 79. And ending, we have Jordan Mason. I'm gonna go 85. I have legitimate reason to believe that that guy is going to be a force to be reckoned with if he ever gets an opportunity to be a starter again, and any chance he gets to back up Aaron Jones this year. This guy is a productive runner. He also has a little bit of a fumbling problem, but again, that can be fixed. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for me giving NFL running backs their Madden ratings for the upcoming year. It's also where I'm going to end the video. As always, let me know where you agree, let me know where you disagree, and please show any support if you guys enjoyed the video. Hit the subscribe button, like button, anything. I appreciate it. However, in the meantime, I'm going to get this edited so you can watch it on time. I hope you have a great Tuesday, and I will see you in the next upload.